Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec, and I'm back with another video for you guys. We are going to be continuing on with the Junior Penetration Tester path inside of TryHackMe. This is the Introduction to Web Hacking section, and then this room is Intro to SSRF. Learn how to exploit server-side request forgery (SSRF) vulnerabilities, allowing you to access internal server resources. Now, let's go ahead and dive into it. Task 1. What is an SSRF? Room brief. In this room, you'll learn what an SSRF is, what kind of impact they can have. You'll view some example SSRF attacks, how you can discover SSRF vulnerabilities, how to circumvent input rules, and then we have a practice for you against with to try your newfound skills. What is an SSRF? Well, as we already know, it stands for service or server-side request forgery. It's a vulnerability that allows a malicious user to cause the web server to make an additional or edited HTTP request to the resource of the attacker's choosing. Types of SSRF. There are two types of SSRF vulnerability. The first is a regular SSRF where data is returned to the attacker screen. The second is a blind SSRF vulnerability where an SSRF occurs but no information is returned to the attacker screen. What's the impact? A successful SSRF attack can result in any of the following: access to unauthorized areas, access to customer/organizational data, ability to scale to internal networks, reveal authentication token/credentials. And as we already saw up above, it stands for server-side request forgery. So copy and paste this down here. And as opposed to regular SSRF, what other type is there? As we saw above, that's going to be blind. All right, task number 2, SSRF examples. Click the View Site button, so let's go ahead and do that here, which will take you through some common SSRF examples, how to exploit them, and even a simulation to see if you can take advantage of an SSRF vulnerability using what you've learned. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to take you through some sample SSRF attacks and explain how they work. At the end of the examples, you'll have to figure out for yourself. It says the below example shows how the attacker can have complete control over the page requested by the web server. The expected request is what the website.thm server is expecting to receive, with the section in red being the URL that the website will fetch. For the information, the attacker can modify the area in red to a URL of their choice. Expected request, API.website, yada yada yada, stock item, ID equals 123, and this is the process of how it works. Hacker sends requests to the website requests, and it says API server returns the user data to the website instead of stock information. Website returns user data to the attacker, right? Because they're requesting this API and then user. So let's go ahead and continue on. The below example shows how an attacker can still reach the API user page with only having control over the path by utilizing directory traversal. When website.thm receives // this is a message to move up a directory, which removes the /stock portion of the request and turns the final request into /API /user expected request. That's what it's supposed to look like. Then he went in and modified it right there, as you can see there. Now let's continue on. All right, in this example, the attacker can control the server subdomain to which the request is made. Take note of the payload ending in the ampersand x and equal sign being used to stop the remaining path from being used or appended to the end of the attack URL, and instead turns it into a parameter $x equals on the query string. Maybe we can see that here. API 123 is the expected request, and the hacker gets in there and starts modifying things. You got the ampersand x equals right there, 123, and step number 2 here is going to the website here, and then it says API server returns user data go back to the hacker. All right, so there we go. And the next one is Going back to the original request, the attacker can instead force the web server to request a server of the attacker's choice. By doing so, we can capture request headers that are sent to the attacker's specified domain. These headers could contain authentication credentials or API keys sent by website.thm that would normally authenticate to api.website.thm. Expected request, hacker request. You can see the process here as they go through here. All right, let's continue on. Using what you learned, try changing the address in the browser below to force the web server to return data from HTTPS blah 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 flag equals or flag ID equals 9 to make things easier. The server requesting bar at the top of the mock browser will show the URL that the website THM is requesting. So let's go ahead and play around with this and find the flag. All right, now we have our payload in here ready to go. As you can see here, server.website.thm flag question mark ID equals 9, and then they want us to use this and x and equal sign. So plug that in there and hit enter. Okay, it didn't work. There we go. Okay, now it's showing up. Now equals. There we go. And you can see at the bottom what the actual quest looks like here. So go ahead and grab this flag, and then let's continue on here to the next one. So let me go ahead and close this out. And task number 3, finding an SSRF. Potential SSRF vulnerabilities can be spotted in web applications in many different ways. Here's an example of 4 common places to look. And be sure to pause the video and go through these so you can see what they look like. As we just did in the previous example, right? You got the one that had API, which was looked like similar to the one we just did. Forms contact. Some of these examples are easier to exploit than others, and this is where a lot of trial and error will be required to find a working payload. If working with a blind SSRF, where no output is reflected back to you, you'll need to use an external HTTP logging tool to monitor requests such as requestbin.com, your own HTTP server, or Burp Suite's collaborator client. What question can be used, or what website can be used to catch HTTP request from a server? Well, we saw up here it was the requestbin.com. So go ahead and plug this in, and we'll continue on to the next task, which is task number 4, defeat common SSRF defenses. More security-savvy developers aware of the risk of SSRF vulnerabilities may implement checks in their applications to make sure the requested resource meets specific rules. There are usually 2 approaches to this, either a deny list or an allow list. A deny list is where all requests are accepted apart from resources specified in a list or matching a particular pattern. A web application may employ a deny list to protect sensitive endpoints, IP addresses, or domains from being accessed by the public while still allowing access to other locations. And you can see the rest here. Be sure to read through that. Allow list. Allow list is where all requests get denied unless they appear on a list or match a particular pattern, such as a rule that an URL used in a parameter must begin with. Here's an example. An attacker could quickly circumvent this rule by creating a subdomain on an attacker's domain, such as the following. Got the https website.thm.attackers-domains.thm. This application logic would now allow this input and let an attacker control the internal HTTP request. Open redirect. If the above bypasses do not work, there is one more trick up the attacker's sleeve, the open redirect. An open redirect is an endpoint on the server where the website visitor gets automatically redirected to another website's address. Take, for example, this particular link here, website.thm, link URL equals https tryhackme.com. The endpoint was created to record the number of times the visitors have clicked on this link for advertising, marketing purposes. But imagine if there was a potential SSRF vulnerability with stringent rules which only allowed URLs beginning with https website.thm, an attacker could utilize the above feature to redirect the internal HTTP request to a domain of the attacker's choice. Questions. What method can be used to bypass strict rules? And that would be the open redirect, as we just talked about there. If I could spell. What IP address may contain sensitive information in a cloud environment? And let's go back up here. It's going to be this one here. This one, 69 address here. So let's go ahead and plug this in. What type of list is used to permit only certain inputs? Well, that's going to be the allow list. So we're only allowing certain criteria. And then what's list is going to stop certain input? Well, that's going to be the deny list. All right, let's continue on to task number 5, where we're going to be talking about SSRF practical. Let's put what we've learned about SSRF to the test in a fictional scenario. We've come across 2 new endpoints during a content discovery exercise against the Acme IT support website. The first one is private, which gives us an error message explaining that the contents cannot be viewed from our IP address. The second one is a new version of the customer account page at customers, new account page with a new feature allowing customers to choose an avatar for their account. Begin to click to start machine, which is already done. It's going to be running here. As soon as it gets done loading, first create a customer account and sign in. All right, so let's wait till this loads up and then we'll continue on. It says, what is the flag from the private directory? All right, so let's wait till this loads up and then we'll come back here. Hey everybody, just a quick little blurb here. As you can see here, most people that view my channel are not subscribers. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're enjoying the video, please consider hitting the like button. It helps get me in the algorithm, helps spread the good word out there, helps bring more people and increase our glorious community here. All right, I'm all about helping out others. I know what it's like to come up in cybersecurity or even try to get into cybersecurity and not knowing where to look. I'm just having this channel up so I can help out other people. All right, that's all I got. All right, now we're back. It says first create a customer account and sign in. Once you signed in, visit the following. So let's go ahead and create a customer account. Customers, sign up here. All right, then password 123. All right, and this is what it looks like here. All right, Acme IT support customers dashboard. And let's navigate to this here. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this over. All right, your account. To view a new avatar by viewing the page source from avatar, you'll see the avatar field value contains the path to the image. The background image style can confirm this is the above div element as per the screenshot below. So if we want to view page source, let's go ahead and do that. Should be this here. Right, yeah. Okay. If you choose one of the avatars and then click Update Avatar button, you'll see the form change and above it display the current selected avatar. All right, so let's just choose one random one, I guess. Update. All right, avatar updated. Viewing the page source will show your current avatar is displayed using the data URL scheme and or URI scheme, and the image content is base64 encoded as per the screenshots. So let's go ahead and I guess let's do view page source again and check it out. There we have it. There's the base64 area here. That's very long. Uh, Now let's try making the request again, but changing the avatar value to private in hopes that the server will access the resource and get past the IP address block. To this, firstly, right-click on one of the radio buttons. All right, so let's go ahead and right-click on the radio button. So let's go ahead and do that. Inspect. All right. It says and edit the value of the radio button to private. So this is what we're looking for here. Let's go ahead and edit this out. Change this to private. All right, there we go. Be sure to select the avatar you edited and then click Update Avatar button. All right, which already done. So let's do Update Avatar. All right. Be sure to, we've already done that. It looks like the web application has a deny list in place and has blocked access to the private endpoints, which we can see there, right? As you can see from the error message, the path cannot start with private, but don't worry, we've still got a trick up our sleeve. To bypass this rule, we can use a directory traversal trick to reach our desired endpoint. Try setting the avatar value to x dot dot private. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back and do the same thing here. So I wonder if we can just edit straight out of this. Let's just do it this way. Right, delete all this stuff and then put that in there. Okay, and update avatar. There we go. Avatar updated. And you'll see you have now bypassed this rule. Any user updated the avatar. The trick works because when the web server receives the request for x dot dot private, it knows that the dot dot / string means to move up a directory. That now translates to request to just private. Viewing the page source of the avatar form, you'll see the currently set avatar now contains the contents from the / private directory. In base64 encoding, decode this content and it will reveal a flag that you can enter below. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Now we've located the base64 out of the avatar image. That's what it looks like here. So you're going to copy that, and you're going to paste it in like base64 decode website here, or in CyberChef, whatever your favorite decoder is. All right, to get the flag. There we go. Bam. All right, guys. Hopefully you found this video of value. And if you did, and you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button with the notification bell. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the content. Comment below your thoughts and opinions on the information shared in the video. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I will see you later.